Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another Star Wars Republic video. Today I have for you guys another Star Wars Republic discussion video. In today's discussion video, I'm just going to be going over the internal championship. Now if you don't know what this is, basically it's something that BioWare introduced for a way to simply add something to one of the new chapters of Knights of the Fallen Empire. Now it was originally going to be released with chapter 10, but of course it was pushed back to chapter 11, but I just wanted to go over some of the details on it and what I think of it. So if you guys enjoy this Star Wars Republic discussion video, as always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some nice gaming glasses, then check the links down below. No scope gaming glasses, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the discussion. Alrighty guys, let's get into the discussion right now. So as you know, in Star Wars Republic there recently was an announcement or something that was going into further detail on the Knights of the Fallen Empire with the internal championship. Now this is kind of a arena where you just have to go ahead and fend off against enemies, and then the waves get harder and harder the further you actually, continue to defeat all enemies in a single wave. Now this seems like it's a pretty cool idea, not gonna lie, of just simply, just trying to go through a bunch of different difficult tasks and just trying to, survive through all of the attacks from different people. I think that's really fun of just having a wave system once again in the game, and they've recently had some threads of just them discussing, what exactly they want, or they want to see what exactly people would want when it comes down to the game itself. And it's actually pretty funny right now that there's so much lag with the game, and I'm just gonna let it go right here, just with all the lag. And it's all the crazy stuff that does happen every now and then. But once again, that's one thing right there, is just the fact that, the internal championship seems like a really cool idea for something that could add to the game, but once again, if it's not done correctly, then there will be some problems. Now, what I mean by that is, once again, there's one complaint which I can agree with, is that it's not, once again, multiplayer content, which is one main problem with this game right now, is that there is a big lack of some multiplayer content, which is a bit annoying at times, but once again, I just want to see exactly where they're going with this internal championship. Since they seem to be hyping it up quite a bit, I just kind of want to see what it is. Because, they were talking about how it's going to be more difficult every single wave. I think this would be cool as in, like, an alternative of, soloing flashpoints and whatnot. It could be a really cool thing to just have a max level where something's almost impossible and you just have only the best of the players just using different tactics to survive everything. I think it's really cool of an idea to, just actually have an idea where you just have to simply, focus on just trying to survive, and of course just simply just trying to fight off a bunch of enemies. I like games that have done that before if they're done correctly. Not really Star Wars Republic or MMOs in general, but in games mostly, if it's executed well when it comes down to an arena wave style, then it's good. But if it is gone, or it actually doesn't do the right thing when it comes down to wave based things, then it can become really bad. Because, once again, it shouldn't be too boring. They should have different enemies that have, different unique abilities that change up the playstyle. Not just something that's extremely generic, just that cool knights all the time, and then they have more health than last. I feel like it'd be really cool if they added a bunch of different stuff. But, it would be really cool if they implemented a feature where you can actually have an ops group or 4 people go into it, and then it can increase in difficulty based on that, and you can work together. And I think that would be really awesome because it would implement something that would be a challenge for a group once again. It would be more group content. But anyways, besides the point, they likely won't implement that because they likely seem to be focusing on, for more or less, just keeping it for just a player alone, just one player, just simply trying to solve and actually survive a bunch of different waves. But I just feel like it would be really cool just to have this, like I say, this wave mode. Just have it really good every single time. Just have the difficulty increased by a lot. Because I don't want it to be, a wave mode where, the waves are all easy. Even the hardest wave is easy. I don't want it to be like Knights of the Fallen Empire, where the mobs are so extremely easy to kill. And then just have, like, level 6 be that. And then have the max level just be, like, 2 times as hard as the Knights of the Fallen Empire mobs. Because even then, the mobs weren't really that good. But I feel like that's one thing that's good right there, is just simply the internal championship being something that is new and unique to the game. But I feel like it would be really awesome if they just tried to, make it a bit unique in a sense, because it's, for the most part, is a wave mode, and it's also a way to get a new companion. And that's basically it. There's not too much to talk about it. It's just really just a wave mode, and then they also have different ideas with the kind of gear and different stuff that could drop. They actually have stuff on the forums right now that is talking. Oh yeah, they have stuff on the forums that just kind of goes over what exactly they want from the player feedback. They want to see exactly what players want when it comes down to gear or anything else, just by completing the harder and difficult waves. No, but I feel like it should be, vanity items in a sense, because I feel like if they just drop a bunch of OP gear for simply completing all of the waves, then you'll have people just constantly farming it, and then when people farm it to the max, then people can get all the extra, extremely hard operations gear to get. Now, I mean, for the most part, the operations in this game aren't too bad. You can usually get the gear pretty simple. Or actually, you can simply get it because, EV hard mode and all that stuff being rescaled. So even the difficult operations that some people consider difficult can become, I guess they can be something that can be skippable, since now we have the easier operations out of all of them just being rescaled, and they can also get a bunch of good gear that way as well. But I feel like they shouldn't reward, I would say, a bunch of endgame ops gear, or just, a bunch of ops gear in general, just by doing something that's somewhat single player. I feel like they should just implement some vanity items. I mean, they can include some operations gear, just don't have it be, unassembled and whatnot, just by simply completing something that's basically single player and nothing else. Because I feel like that kind of defeats the sole purpose of, playing group content now. Even that it seems like they haven't been doing too much group content, and then they tried to defend themselves by saying they were rescaling all the older content, which, I mean, was a nice change. I really like that they rescaled that stuff. I do agree with that on what their stance is, but I still feel like there should be some different group content in the works eventually. But anyways, that's just kind of my view on the internal championship alone. I think it's a really cool idea, and I feel like it can be extremely well if it's executed correctly. Now, I'm not one to actually talk about building a mode just like this, but I feel like it's really awesome that they're trying to do something, I guess, a bit different. Now, they also announced a Warzone as well, which I think is extremely cool, and hopefully that's a really good Warzone with the game type of King of the Hill. But I feel like they can do something really good with this championship or this little wave mode if they do it correctly. And, if they exactly, they kept some stuff that they didn't mention in the live stream. Yeah, I feel like it could be a lot better if they just include something that has to do with groups. Or maybe just keep it so you can get cool and unique vanity items, but not go overboard where they start giving a bunch of really OP gear just for completing this, for the most part, likely a single player content. Alrighty guys, but that's the end of this SWTOR discussion video, just me going over the internal championship. Overall, I feel like it is a really cool idea for the game, but it just has to be done correctly for it to work, in its entirety, because I feel like if it is done incorrectly, then there can be some problems with the mode. But if they do it correctly and they do include some stuff that is, with some extra group content of sorts, it just allows a bunch of different people to go in at once to increase the difficulty or maybe change it up, that'd be, really, really cool. They likely won't do it, but even then, I feel like if they do this mode correctly, it still will add to the game alone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this SWTOR discussion video. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.